Well, Happy New Year and welcome back to Hoop Shooting the Breeze, our show all about the hoop shoot. Each show we catch up with past participants, volunteers, and other friends of the Hoop Shoot program. My name is Nathan Springberg, and I'm pleased to introduce a good friend of mine, the Region 2 Hoop Shoot Director representing Livingston, Montana, Elks Lodge number 246, John Morford.
Hey Nathan, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks. It's
All
an
right, I'm
honor to
happy
be
to
on the
have you.
show.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you on. I think you'll provide some great insight. So let's get right into it. So you've been involved with the program for a while. Could you share a little bit about how you got started with the program?
Sure. Quite a while ago, when I was going through the officer chairs in at the Bozeman Elks, I was originally a member of the Bozeman Elks. That's when I attended my first hoop shoot contest as a lodge officer. I knew someday I was going to be the lodge president, and I might as well get to know all the programs that our lodge does. And it was our chairperson at the time was a legend from that lodge, Gene Murray. Gene Murray was also at that time on the Grand Lodge Youth Activities Committee. And being on that committee, the hoop shoot kind of fell underneath that. So he was also good friends with Cam Cronk, who was the
Mhm.
national director of the hoop shoot at
Okay.
that time. And so I walked into my first contest, and it was a smooth running machine. It was a great experience, even for me as a spectator and a volunteer. And after I became president, after my year of being president of our local lodge, Gene had retired, and so the new president had asked me if I would be the hoop shoot director, and I thought, yeah, of course. This program is very important to all of our lodges because
Mhm.
it's one of the biggest spectators sports or events that we do as Elks. We have the biggest public audience, and
Right.
I wanted to make sure it ran well for my friend, just like Gene did for me and other presidents. And so I got involved with it as lodge director, and the rest is history. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys have been doing a good job out there. But what is it about the program you think that keeps you involved? Like, what are some of your favorite aspects of the program outside of just that it's the most biggest spectator event for the Alps?
You know, for me, the reason why I keep coming back year after year is the relationships.
Yeah.
The relationships you build with, especially once you start getting into district director on up, you start building relationship with other lodge directors from other lodges, working together, volunteering together. We'll have lodge directors come to district contests and help out and get to know each other. The relationships, for me, the probably the most important relationship and the most enjoyable are the relationships with the parents and with the families. You
Yeah.
know, I still have relationships with several of them, and their kids have been out of the programs for several years. Just like this last fall, I got a text from one of the parents out of the blues saying, "Hey, it's the fall, it's hoop shoot season. We're thinking of remembering our experiences and thinking of you, and have a good season."
Yeah.
It's just, and then everybody, as you go up the chain, as state director, now region director, you get to build your relationship, and your family of hoop shoot continues to grow. And that's really why I do this. It's just a fun, positive family, and
Right.
it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the relationship.
I agree. And in my short time being involved, I can see that it is truly a family, especially when you get around those local communities. Getting to visit Jeff at his contest last year was like, whoa, like these people, they all kind of know each other, they know about each other, which is cool to see. And I think
Yeah,
that's a special part of the hoop shoot for sure.
it,
So
it is.
so moving along here, you've always been adamant about communication and promotion of the program, and it's something you're very feel strongly about. Can you explain what you do to get the word out about your hoop shoot?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll use an example. When we first got started here in Livingston and getting the word out, I was taught again from Cam and Gene that preliminary contests are just, I thought, was the norm. I thought every lodge did that. And so when I first became uh, lodge director in Livingston, we didn't have preliminary contests. So getting the word out, I just contacted every school. And, I was raised by a traditional old salesman, door-to-door salesman. And that's what I did is I called every school and then followed up with a little email. And we got the preliminary contest going. So that's how we start bringing more awareness to the schools. And then we've had other different type of preliminary contests, like with the homeschool organizations and all that. So that's one way we got the word out. And of course, getting the media involved, writing professional press releases and sending them off to them. Next thing you know, we have media coverage at our lodge contest and state.
Hmm.
Of course, it takes people to help you do that, but that's one way we get the word out. I wear this swag all the time everywhere I go, and people stop me
I
and say,
know you do.
what's
I know you
what's the
do.
hoop shoot?" It's branding. But
Yeah.
it starts a conversation, and people are like, "What's the hoop shoot?" We just went to Washington last weekend for a weekend vacation, and we were out, and I was wearing one of my pullovers, and someone had asked me that question, and so that's how we get the word out in Livingston.
Yeah.
And then the volunteers that are involved with it, they have so much fun that they tell people, "Hey, I helped out with the hoop shoot this weekend," and they're like, "What it is?" So word of mouth, and also, now we're using the Elks app and social media, Facebook, all that stuff. So whenever we have a contest or something, or our kids are moving on to the next level, we use those means to get the word out.
Yeah, there is more ways to spread the word. There also are more things for kids to do nowadays. So there's those challenges. I kind of wanted to touch on the preliminary contest. What would you say to someone? Because that seems to be a key factor in successful lodge contests to me, to my eyes. What would you say to someone who's struggling to get into the schools and reaching out to them?
Well, that's a really good question, because it is getting more and more difficult to get into schools. As I learned when I was on the Grand Lodge Activities Committee, specifically with the dictionary project, where some schools weren't allowing the Elks to come in and give out free dictionaries. And so my answer to that is you have to think outside of the box. It is getting more difficult to get into schools, even out here in rural Montana.
Yeah.
So you have to think, how else can we have preliminary contests? Another way to go is go after these club basketball teams, coaches, and promote the program. Tell them what it's about. They'll
Hmm.
get on board and maybe even have a hoop shoot contest at one of their practices, or after one of their. They might even say, "Hey, we have a tournament coming up. That would be a great time for you guys to do a preliminary contest after the tournament
Yeah.
or before the tournament." But you think outside the box. Again, if a school doesn't want to let you in to do the contest, I've also I've often told them, I says, "Well, do you mind if we come in with a small crew after school and do it?" And usually by the time get to that point, they'll just say, "Just send me the information, we'll do it." But
Get out of my
just think
face.
outside the box. Think about not having just preliminary. You've got other organizations like the YMCA, Boys and Girls Clubs, and so on and so forth. Um, and that's one way you can do it. I do know that I've heard comments of some lodges that didn't want to do some advertising on it because they were too afraid of having too many kids. And that challenge can be met too by having another preliminary contest
Right.
yourself, and just have it to where you might do it on a Sunday afternoon or something like that, and to dwindle the numbers down. So when you do your official contest, you don't have 200 kids.
Hmm.
But yeah, I do agree with you that preliminary contests are really, really important.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
takes time.
And
It takes time.
definitely in building those connections. One last note on that before we move on. I did want to, like, even those coaches, sometimes the teams that you can reach out to, some of those coaches are teachers or PE teachers and stuff too. So there's that connection. You may just get in talking to them in general.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
They're a great source to start with, especially
yeah,
in larger urban areas. I'm thinking outside of Montana, in our region. But yeah, getting to know coaches will also give you some ideas on other directions you can go.
yeah. All right, moving along here. More broad about the regional director position, but what do you do to connect with different parts of your region, and how important is it to you to have everyone within your region on the same page?
Well, I'm kind of an elk geek. I like going to state conventions. And
Yeah,
so I have been attending, of course, Montana for over 20 years, but I have been attending the North Dakota State Elks Convention and the South Dakota State Elks Convention. I wanted them, the members, to know me and have a face, and something to recognize other than just the name in their directory. So I've been going to their state conventions and just getting them, allowing them to get to know me. The other thing, if I'm going to send an email and I want to get a word out, I always do it through my state director. So I'll say, please forward to your lodges, or take this message and put it in your own words. That's another thing. And then what we've done here since I first became regional directors, we started doing Zoom training for lodge directors.
awesome.
And
Yeah,
yeah, I'd like to see the numbers go up, but people are attending and they really enjoy it and they get something out of it. And then if they can't attend, then we just send them, like the PDF of all my files I referenced and all that stuff. We'll email it to the lodges if they couldn't attend. But I think it's really important.
yeah. And again, the Zoom meeting stuff, like again, that's something that can take time. It's somewhat new in the world today, so you just don't give up on that one either.
No, I'm not.
Those, I know you will, but those are good. I mean, if you can connect with people without needing to travel and things like that, it's always good to have. But yeah, again, moving along here, how do you see the Hoop Shoot program growing in the next 5 to 10 years?
Growing, you're talking about in numbers, or
Yeah, well, we could go any direction.
yeah.
I'm more thinking participant wise, numbers, but also just recognition within the country and stuff like that. But
I
participation specifically, I would say.
I think the key to that is marketing, bringing public awareness to our program and the benefits that the families get out of the program, not just the contestants, but the experience for the entire family.
Yeah,
And marketing could be done on a budget, using social media
right.
platforms. And that's what I respect a lot about your staff there at the ENF is you all are really good at that. And I think the more that the public knows about this program, the more they'll want to be a part of it. And also providing tools for the lodges, simple tools to use them on their social media platforms and in their local media. Um, Bringing public awareness, I think, will help increase the numbers in the program.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
Um,
that's
no,
my thought. I'm sure
yeah,
you
no,
all
I
have
agree.
some thoughts too.
I agree. I mean, it is. There's a lot of different ways to get the um, program's word out. Social media is obviously a huge tool now. So if we can get lodges and stuff to use that more consistently, that'd be great. But also, it's I think the biggest thing is just the connections and having the people in your community know who you are and what the program's about, and going face to face, maybe talking to the schools again. I think that's the if we can
And
get into the schools.
here we are. Region 2 is very rural, so it's very easy
Yeah,
for us to get the word out in our communities. And I think thinking of lodges in Chicago, in the
right.
larger urban areas, California, it's a totally different ball game. And but people are people, and like you said, you get out and approach and meet people and tell them about the program. It doesn't matter where you are, um,
Yeah,
you get the
they'll
word
want to
out.
help. They'll want to
Yeah,
help. So
yeah.
yeah. What's something unique about your contest, whether it's the lodge or districts, throughout your time in the hoop shoot? What's something unique about something your program does?
Well, we take a lot of pride that we're very good. And I say the crew is very good.
Yeah,
The first time someone had seen the crew at Livingston, it was Cam Cronk. And this is before he asked us to run his state contest. And he said, well, you guys run this just like the national finals, and very professional. We want to make it an enjoyable experience from registration through the contest and getting out of there at a reasonable time and not taking up all their day. So that's one of the unique things that we keep in mind. But I mean, it's the contest. Uh, People like it when I announce. Um, I don't use a microphone, so everybody can hear me. But I think it's just the professionalism of all of our volunteers. They take a lot of pride in being really good at it. And I have to say, the crew at the regional contest in Rapid City, I've met them over the years. They always operated under Vern Larson, our previous regional director. But that crew out there in Rapid City is top notch as well. And so that's another unique thing to it, is that when our kids go to the nationals, they aren't shocked.
Yeah,
It's the same type
there's
of.
there's structure
But it's
and
really hard to find a specific thing that's
no, that's great.
unique
That's
about
great.
our
I mean,
program. But the sun
being
keeps
that,
coming up and it keeps shifting on me.
yeah, no,
Sorry
no, you're
about that.
good. No, you're fine. Um, do you have any stories that you'd like to share that you can remember? Any and about a finalist maybe, or even just family, anything like that that you can remember?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that question, and of course, it jogged a lot of great old memories. I was state director for over 10 years and been involved with the program for over 20, and
Yeah,
I've met some great kids, and I could probably tell you 10 really good stories. Of course, the one that comes to mind is National Finals 2018. Montana had, I think, at least four kids at the National Finals, and they were great kids. But of course, that was the year that my lodge had not only one, but two national champions, and they're both from a small town called Big Timber, Montana. Um, yeah,
that,
Cameron Ketchum, her winning that year was kind of out from left field, and your parents will tell you that. It was like we got here to the national finals, and I remembered that she was towards the end, and she needed to go 14 out of 15 in the second round to tie for first. And if she got 15, she was going to win it. And I remember just counting in my head, she's at 12, and I kept saying in my head, make it, make it, make it. And she'd make it, make it, and she would make it. And then all of a sudden, she makes that 14th shot, and it's like, all right, she's tied. And then out of nowhere, she makes the 15th and wins
15
the thing.
wins.
And of course, we're
Yeah,
all sitting as a group, and Bailey's sitting there too. And then she's up next in the 12-13 division, and it was her last year in the hoop shoot, and she's been there several times, and of course, a national finalist, national champion when she was in the 8-9. And it's her last national finals. And I'll never forget when she showed up that year to the lodge contest. She had a look of that eye of the tiger. I never seen such focus in her ever. And I think she missed 3 baskets out of all levels of contest between the lodge, district, state, regional. She only missed 3 baskets, and she, of course, was the heavy favorite to win. And she told me uh, after the contest that once Cameron won it, it put more pressure on her to win it.
yeah,
And of
absolutely.
course, she won the Getty Powell and won the 12. So here they are, two girls from representing Livingston, Montana, from Big Timber, Montana. That was really great.
That that's
That
really
was probably my favorite memory. Yeah,
that's
but
really
there's been some
special.
other ones. If we had more time,
Oh,
I'd
for
tell you
sure.
more.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure we could talk about all the
Oh
Big
yeah.
Timber stories, Livingston stories. But yeah, geez, that's pretty epic that they both won and she followed it up.
And they're still best friends to this day. I
Right.
mean, they
That's
and they were both on a basketball team in high school where they won the state title
wow.
in Montana. Yeah, so
That's a
they're
great
they're
story, John.
they're great people. Yeah, and they all are. Like I
Yeah,
said, I thought a bunch of other people and stories, but
I appreciate you sharing that with us because that's a really cool story, and I don't think that happens very often.
no,
Um,
no.
what advice would you have for present and future hoop shooters, especially the ones that are preparing for their district contest here coming up?
Well, of course, practice.
Yeah,
The more you practice, it's all muscle memory. So the more that you do it, go through that repetition, the better your chances are to be competitive. And you could be the best basketball player, the best free throw shooter in the nation, and get beat. Again, I've seen national finalists and national champions get beat the next year at the lodge contest or at the district contest. So another thing with that said is also respect your competitors. Know that they are all good and that they could come out of nowhere and win at any time. So
Hmm.
respect your competitors and with that also show good sportsmanship. But you know, and also enjoy the experience. If you win your lodge contest, congratulations, and you're going on to the next level. Enjoy that. Get to know some of these other contestants from other towns. You might be playing ball against them someday in high
Yeah,
school, or going to basketball camps together, or maybe even run into each other when you go to college, if you go to college. So enjoy those relationships and enjoy the journey. And every next level, the journey's even more unique and more interesting, more fun. So enjoy the experience, practice, and respect your competitors.
awesome. Well, those are some great words of advice for all the kids out there. It's a special program. I'm really proud to be a part of it, and I do appreciate you joining me today. You gave us some great insight into your world out there. We'll be back next month for another exciting interview. But before we go, the January service scorecard is open now. It's a virtual engagement opportunity. The service scorecard combines service, the Elks spirit of volunteerism, and fun. Participants have the chance to win $100 donation to the charity of their choice and some Hoop Shoot swag that we'll toss your way as well. John, do you care to do the honors and share this month's theme?
I'd love to. January's theme is self-care, encouraging participants to check in and take time for themselves while serving their communities. Visit our website. It's ENF, which stands for Elks National Foundation. So it's enf.elks.org/service SC as in scorecard.
Nailed it. Thank you again for all the viewers out there. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic ENF content. And if you like the show, leave a thumbs up on this video and let us know what you think in the comments. Until next time, John, best wishes.
Best wishes, Nathan. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.